Hey there, paper geeks and glitter nerds. It's Shin, the crazy geek crafter, and Missees getting married. And this is part 2, so if you haven't seen that part, you should jump over there, because this is how far we've gotten. I have a basic design of a dress. He is basically finished. I just need to glue all his parts together, the beard, the hair, the face, all of that. But we are still designing on the dress. I'm having trouble with her arms. And first of all, I see that I need to curve the dress some more, but these arm pieces are going to help me out, I think, in figuring out where that is, the line between the arms and the torso. Oh, that's better, at least. Which is why I chose to cut the arms out of the torso piece here. I did contemplate making the torso from the arms set, but at this point I didn't want to recolor. I felt like going too many steps backwards to do that, so I'm trying this out, and I do get it to work, but this is not the last time I will have the thought, should I redo the body of her. She was difficult. And I got it almost perfect on one side, and the other one is, in my opinion, perfect. So I just cut off the tiny piece that was still attached, and then her arms fit. And now I just have to figure out with the rest of the body. I can cut off quite a bit here, because the dress will cover it. The dress is what's gonna give her shape now. But this was very fiddly, and I spent so much time on it. But this was the general design I wanted for her dress. We've gotten so far that I want to stamp out the mouth. I'm giving her some pink lips with, what is it called? Saltwater Taffy. That's it. I just checked the color before stamping, but I figured that was the one that was going to be that pale pink that I wanted. And I'm drawing in the line with a marker, just removing my pencil marks from the eyes as best I can. I always draw in the bottom line of the eye, because otherwise I just color over it. It's dumb, but that's what happens. Now, because he's wearing a beard, I can actually move his mouth far further down, giving him a longer face than he would otherwise have. This smile, though, is very obscured by the beard, and in part I wish I hadn't stamped it, because it kind of looks weird. It looks like he has a very big bottom lip or something, but I was not gonna redo it now, that's for sure. But you see, without the beard he looks weird with his mouth that low, but with the beard, no problem. You can hide that fact. I need some fonts for the text on this card, and I want to write congratulations in a big font, and I want to write the date and their names, and that's where the smaller font comes in. First, I'm making the card, and I am taking my Gummiapan paper and making a A7 card? No, A5 card. That's it, A5. I stumble around the sizes sometimes. European size, which is practically a A4 in half, folded in half here. And that'll give me plenty of room for these two. I like doing bigger cards for big occasions like weddings and baptisms and things. I just think it elevates everything. And for this project in particular, I would never have fitted these two onto a card half the size. Here I'm counting out how many letters I need to write congratulations, and which of these fonts then will fit the top of the card, and it was this one from Free Scoops. And then the sub-sentiment, if we can call it that, is going to be by Simple and Basics with these tiny letters. I hate them and I love them. And everything is going to be written in gold. The The first thing I'm going to cut is the congratulations, the big sentiment. I'm going to cut it once in gold and 3 times in white because I want to elevate it off the card. And that's going to take a while. And then I'm going to glue them together. I've sped that part up because you don't really need to see that in slow motion, or not exactly slow motion. This is all. I basically run all my videos at a 400% speed, because otherwise we'll be here till the end of time. But things like gluing and die cutting and things that are very repetitive, I often put up to 800% or 1000 actually. And you can always see in the corner what speed we're at. I make sure of that. I find it very assuring that I can actually see what is going on and know how fast this is compared to reality. I picked up this double-sided tape over here. I'm going to need it for the small letters because putting glue on the back of those is... oh, it's painful. Not that this tape isn't painful. It is too. But we'll get to that. Let's just get congratulations done. Well, after all of that, all the letters are done and ready, and I'm trying to keep a hold of all of the small letters. I promise you something is going to disappear before the end. Now I've printed out a pattern paper that I bought on Etsy. I did fiddle a bit with it because it was too dark for me. I needed it more white, less gray. So I fiddled with it a bit in Photoshop to get it the way I wanted it. And then I bought this glimmer paper with gold glimmer, black with gold. I thought it was perfect for this project. So I'm gonna make a mat on it, and I'm going to use the full piece. I'm not gonna cut off the center. I want this card to stand the test of time, as you say. And I do hope the sticky on the back side of that is gonna hold up. That is the only thing I don't know. I've written out the measurements I need for the glitter layer and the pattern paper here with the marble design, which is part of the theme for the wedding. And here I am just going to have to decide which part I want on the card. Yeah, it takes a bit. Which one? I pick one and put it on, and I don't even check if it's the right side up compared to what I wanted, but it was. So, but yeah, that's crafting for you. You make all these little decisions and then you make a big mistake and then it doesn't matter anyway, but at least this time it turned out right. I was also concerned with getting this piece to stick to the glitter. Glitter is notorious for, well, not wanting anything to stick to it. That's why I used my solvent glue. And one corner came up and I attached it back down with the regular PVA glue after that. And Jaina is so tired of me crafting. She really wants me to come be with her, but we have to crack on. This has to be finished in time for the wedding. So, like I said, all of these kept jumping everywhere, and some of them, the backing came off, so they're actually sticky at this moment. Oh, it was horrible. I couldn't figure out how to keep them safe, but this acrylic block trick was, I think, the best version of it. Now I need some help for placement of the sentiment. I just need to see how far up I need to put it to clear these two. Now her dress is not finished yet. I haven't gotten a veil for her, but it'll all be done by the end of this video. I sometimes feel like every time I put on a sentiment, I find a new way of doing it because the old one didn't work. And for this one, the eye, of course, did not adhere as it should on the first try. Typical. But it gets worse. The numbers were the worst. The names went okay, but the numbers were really bad to place. They really didn't want to line up, and the 8 was completely stubborn about tilting to one or the other side. So here's some vellum. I did want to give her a veil made of actual tulle, but I didn't have any. Unfortunately, I didn't get any on hand for this project, so I'm going with vellum. Sorry. I'm covering the bun, and then I'm making some to hang down behind her in different layers. I'm just gonna do 2. You don't need that much, but yeah. it does something. And of course it needs to be behind the neck, but the hair needs to be okay. When gluing down, veil, hair, head, neck, or head and neck is the same level, so but there we go. Now I got those pieces ready. I used so much temporary tape on this project, but it really was necessary to keep everything from running off and, well, keeping me sane, that is, because everything kept shifting, and yeah, without that it would have been a nightmare, even more than it was. It was fun, I loved the result, but there were parts of this process where I was very tired. So now I have to figure out how to do the letters for their names. I'm trying more tape. Now I probably mentioned this before. My brain is kind of funny when it comes to mirroring things. I don't always notice when things are mirrored. That means I have to make extra special certain that I don't put things wrong, because I can't see it if it is wrong. But I'm pretty sure I managed to put all the letters right, because you're basically writing it backwards at this point. The title for the eye will come later. It cannot fit on the tape, and it is far too cumbersome to work with. To try and do it, it's easier to put it on afterwards. I use a needle to handle these, and that's on purpose. I found that a toothpick is actually too big. I need a needle to handle these. I kind of need a handle on this one though. Guess I have to buy some Fimo or something and make a tool. And now I figured out what was missing. It was the ampersand. The fiddling with these tiny letters and numbers will go on for a while, and I hope you'll enjoy the music while you watch me struggle. glitter. Yeah, that was what was missing on her dress. When I was at the store buying the glitter for the background and looking for marble paper, which I couldn't find, I realized that I wanted her dress to have more sparkle. I looked for tiny gems I could glue on, but there wasn't any. So I figured white glitter for the base of the dress was the best way to go. So here I'm covering it up with white glitter paper. Trying not to get anything stuck in places it shouldn't, because this is adhesive backed, just like the black glitter layer. Oh, the fiddling. Oh, the fiddling. It took a long time and it was really annoying, but I got there in the end, I'd say. Also getting the arms attached. It's that tiny piece there. It's not easy. I'm going to enforce it on the back side with some more cardstock. Generally, the white cardstock is the star of this entire project because it saved everything. Neenah may be needed for alcohol marker coloring, but the white cardstock that I used for connecting everything was a lifesaver. Like here, I need a peg for the neck, so to speak. Something to glue him on. And since he's wearing so many layers, I need to level up the neck peg, let's call it that. That's what it's called on a Barbie, at least. I need to level up 3 layers because that's how high his neck is at. Because of all his, like his shirt and his tux. That's the word. It's a tuxedo. We call it a smoking. Sorry. Like I said, my vocabulary into formal dress is not what it should be. I'm just going to trim off any excess on the shoulders here from the dress. And get glue everywhere. And then I figured I would put not white but flesh colored. It does not sound nice, but the same color as the skin underneath her arms, because there was tiny gaps from where I glued it. It didn't connect completely, and this way it won't be as visible. Now they're both dressed. Now she needs a neck peg too, but let's just sort out all the layers for her head first. Oh, and the ears again. Don't forget the ears. This is how I attached them, again with a peg of sorts of paper. And now I have to find the damn ears. There. Getting them right is always hard, in my opinion. Because they actually have to be just about eye level. And I can never remember if it's the top of the ear or the bottom of the ear that should align with the tear ducts. And of course, glue everywhere. In front, we have hair. The front hair, so to speak. While that dries, I can remove the temporary adhesive from the different parts. I don't want anything to happen to this card, so I remove most of what I see. Or all of what I see, actually. So now her neck is ready, but she needs a few layers before the neck. Let's get a clean slate here. First, put the veil on the bun. There we go. Then put the head on the veil and the bun. Maybe some glitter? No glitter. Okay. And cut off the tips of the white paper for the ears. Then you need the head on. You need to glue the hair on. And then the 2 pieces of veil goes on the very bottom. It's very fiddly, but it really looks great, in my opinion. And he needs to have his head on his neck as well. Let's let them dry for a sec. After a nice break, I can get on to the next parts. Yeah, we're not finished yet. I need them to be level, so to speak, so I'm using him as a guide to where I should cut her arms and her torso. She got a bit longer when I put on the glitter paper, so that's why I'm doing this, so they look even on the card. I'm uncertain whether one of them is taller than the other, so I just made them about the same height, maybe him a bit higher. And I got some pearls for earrings and her necklace. I did think about maybe decorating the V of her dress, let's call it that. But this was how it ended up. I would have liked these to be a tiny bit smaller, actually. I think they're a bit big for earrings, but hey, if you can afford big diamonds, then go for it. Here I'm fiddling around. I didn't want the very biggest stone in this mix. I just want the small one and the middle size. And somewhere here I get glue on her body, right there underneath her, underneath the stones, just south of those, and it's gonna bother me so much because it's not easy to hide. So I try with the necklace and I'm trying to get that glue off, but it won't. And it's gonna annoy me so much that I come back and I think maybe I can draw on it, make her some kind of necklace with the gold pen, but no. And I remember there are some necklaces in one of the set, and this one may be helpful in covering it up. So I have to take off the pearls I put on. Very, very, very carefully. And then cut, this is the adhesive backed gold paper from the letters I did before. So it's easy to pop on here. And it covered up some of the glue, but not all of it. So I'm still going to have to fight it. And during this process, I also managed to get glue on one of her shoulders. I was so mad. It was so annoying. You know, when you made it this far and it just, I have to make the dress again. I have the color in the body again. I just put it all together. Can I save the veil and the hair? But I take my sand eraser and very carefully I get off the worst of the sheen of the glue. Enough for me to be able to live with it. Was not perfect. Oh, I was so annoyed. And in this process here also I get a bit glue on him, on his black jacket, but that comes off pretty easily, luckily. I'm shifting it in the light so that I can see if I can see the glue. And yes, he got a bit too, but it was okay. We're getting almost to the finish line. And I say almost because I thought I was finished. And then something was annoying me. You know, that when you're lying in bed trying to fall asleep and something just pops into your head. I can't leave this. I have to go fix it. So, but I did wait till the next morning. But it's coming. It's coming in a minute. I will put him up on 3 pieces of white cardstock to lift him off the card a bit. And I'm going to support the head, the neck, and the body part. Since she's going to be on top of him, I need to put 6 layers on her, and I have to remember the 3 last layers have to be cut so that where she meets him, there are only 3 layers. Yeah, that sounds a bit technical, but here I'm just putting 3 layers on both of them, and afterwards I noticed and thought of this was stupid. I should have not done it this way, but I make it work with the extra layers on her, popping her up even more than him. And remember to scoot him in to the card. There we go. And this is where I can feel the difference, and I know I have to fix it. More white cardstock to the rescue. And I have to remember where not to put the paper. So first 3 on the head. And her neck is so tiny, I dare not try and support it. I just give her back and head support. That sounds awful. Here we go. And now she is on. And I'm thinking, yes, I'm done. It's over. Yay. And then this is the next day. It only says congratulations, not with what. So I made this with my scan and cut a banner which says, with your wedding. I really felt like this was missing, and this was the easiest, the quickest solution for me to make a banner with this text. It's not one I have in stamps anywhere. I rarely make wedding cards. There are very few of them in my life, unfortunately. Or maybe it's a good thing. I'm uncertain. Those are expensive things. But I'm just coloring in because the brother scan and cut only did the outline. And I'm just going to score it so that I can fold the banner in. And it gets a little bit of dimension on top of the congratulations. And I like this fix, actually. There was not much else I could do. I could maybe have made the banner a bit more slim. But then again, you have to be able to read it too. So there we go. This is the last touch of the card. Now I can call it done. And it was beautiful. It was very beautiful. So congratulations to Patrick and Kia on their nuptials this past Saturday. I hope everything went well. I don't know yet. If you like this video, please return next week for another one. Right now my lives are on pause because I'm on holiday, but otherwise I have lives on Wednesdays and videos on Saturdays. Until then, I hope you'll be having a good day, evening or night.